in June, there was no guarantee of TV. Worked on a TV package with Versus, got 29 or 27 live hours of national coverage on Versus. So that was huge, and that helped us a lot. And what that meant is we had 2.5 hours live TV coverage nationally that was all Colorado Springs, nobody else. And then he started working on an international TV package, that came together, and it showed live throughout all of English-speaking Africa and English-speaking Asia as well, live. And I received a text from a buddy of mine in Singapore and a buddy of mine in South Africa during the prologue time trial when it was live, and they said, "Hey man, I'm checking out your city, it looks great." So that was really neat, and that helped us quite a bit. And then he put together this NBC package, wrap-up package of 2 hours. That helped us from a sponsorship sales standpoint. It looked like with about 6 weeks to go, looked like we were going to have a deficit of about $80,000. And I was like, great, you know, I'm going to owe the hotel over here $22,000. I'm going to owe these guys over here another, 18, and it wouldn't be me personally, but it would have been, my name was all over it, so I was like, it's going to be me, and they're going to go, yeah, that bum Carmichael, he came in and promised all this stuff, and now he owes me $20,000. So I was really nervous, and luckily, they made the announcement that the Cadel Evans, who had just won the Tour de France, would be coming. And I was like, I heard this 2 days before it actually announced, they announced it, and I was like jumping up and down, like, yeah, it was great. And then they said also the Schlecks, we got the Schlecks too. So I was like, oh, that's going to help. Sure enough, that came live, and in a week, we were no longer in a deficit. And we ended up positive, and didn't owe anybody any money, and have a little money, seed money in the bank to seed for this year. We started a nonprofit called the Pikes Peak Cycling Society, and that was the nonprofit in which we were to get handle all payables and receivables and funds go to. We received fiscal sponsorship because we hadn't got the actual status back from the IRS. I don't even think we've got it back yet, but we received fiscal sponsorship from the Pikes Peak Foundation, a big, large nonprofit here, which we're thankful for. So we could start collecting money and paying bills and things like that. Challenges along the way. Nobody really knew what a prologue time trial was. Yes, cyclists do, but the people we were talking to, the sponsors, nobody knew, who's going to come out and watch this, and why should we care, and why do you want $5,000? And so that was a challenge to be able to convince the business community that there would be a lot of people here, and that a lot of cycling fans, a lot of enthusiasts, a lot of people would show up on Monday, midday on the middle of summer, on a Monday afternoon to watch this event. And luckily they believed us, and everybody showed up. It was awesome. I mean, it was a fantastic day, and it didn't rain. Nobody crashed. The athletes pretty much liked the course. I knew that. I emailed Levi that evening and said, "Hey, how'd you like the course?" And he said, "Well, I would have liked it if it went the other way." And I kind of expected that from him, and because it would have been more uphill and better for him, But then I also emailed George Hincapie, and I said, "How'd you like the course?" He said, "It was awesome. It was great," And because he's not as good a climber as Levi, so, but we wanted a tight finish. We didn't really want, because a lot of the stages were big climbing stages, and that would sort it out. We wanted things to be really tight. We didn't want to right away start setting the general classification from the opening time trial. And we achieved that, which was good. Other things that we did, we established a mission of what the LOC was to do, the local organizing committee was to do, it was to be able to present the Pikes Peak area, Colorado Springs, as a vibrant, inclusive community to the world. And I felt like it was important because this was a nonprofit. There was, we wanted to pay our bills, but it wasn't about making money, but we believed that for the community, this was an opportunity to have a global sporting event live in our community, and we want to show it as a vibrant, inclusive community to the world. And I think we did pretty well at that for the first year. I think we can do better for this coming year. I think one thing that we're going to work to improve upon is a better way in which to deliver that message to the race organization, to the athletes, and then to the fans, and then to the TV, the viewers as well, in a better way, in a more concise way in which we can deliver that message. And that, it's important because one thing that I've seen in a lot of times in nonprofits, there's a lot of, you get caught up in a lot of things, and there's a lot of little challenges, and you always have to go back to the mission. How is this helping show that our community is vibrant and inclusive to the world? Let's keep going back. How are we doing that? How are we showing to the world we're vibrant, we're live, we want everybody to come to our community? And we have to keep going back to that message. And if it doesn't fit in that message, then we don't have to do it. And it has to fit in that message, has to fit into our mission, and then we do that. And so that's important now. Bidding for 2012, the event, I knew that nobody likes prologues. The team directors, the athletes, they hate prologues. And I knew I'd get 1 year, and that would kind of be it, because they would go like, look, they would start bending the ear of the race organization and saying, look, you got to cut the prologue. Why do they not like prologues? Because there's all this buildup. You got special bikes, you got to do all this prep work, and it's all out there for, 8-minute stage, and they got to come in advance. They got to ride the course. There's just so much. Nobody really likes these things. But from a community standpoint, it was awesome. It was what we wanted from a community standpoint, was to be the kickoff and to have it and not share that day with anybody else, any other city. And I also knew that they would want to move the start of the race, that they wouldn't want to come back to Colorado Springs. Not that we did a poor job, not that there's a reason, but part of what the history of the race, I mean, the Tour de France and the Giro and all the big major Grand Tours, they very, very rarely start in the same location as they did the year before. They want to get this event, and that's what's great about cycling, is you're not confined to a venue, and you can get it out and take it to another community each year, and that's really one of the awesome things about cycling. So knowing we wouldn't get the start, knowing the prologue was out, we wanted to be towards the tail end of the race, because one thing that happened is the fans really built up over the course of the days, and the last couple of days it was just crazy. So I wanted a weekend finish. I didn't want to start. We wanted to finish, not me. We wanted to finish, and so we bid on a finish. We wanted a Friday or Saturday finish. We knew the finish would be in Denver on Sunday, and they were very impressed with our organization, our city, everything, the fan turnout, how we were embraced the event, and they said, look, we're coming back to you, and we're coming back to Colorado Springs. So we got stage 5 Friday afternoon finish. So I think it's great because we'll have, I think, a lot more spectators Friday afternoon. The finish isn't, the course isn't set, but be coming down. We'll loop through, come into Manitou, and then finish downtown. That much we know, off of coming from Breckenridge through Divide, Woodland Park, and there. So that's where we are right now, and we just had a symposium the last 2 days, concluded today, that the race conducted for all the host cities, and it was held here in Colorado Springs. First day was at the Broadmoor, today was at USA Cycling just over here. So Colorado Springs is really looking, from the race standpoint, we're partnering very closely with them, and the fact that they held their symposium here in Colorado Springs for all the host cities, I think, is a good sign. And we anticipate having the race back, every year in some form or fashion.
Thank you, Chris. We have about